let's get started. Like, let's just get a quick introduction. This is the second New Agent Roundtable. I'm excited. You guys always know I get pumped up when we talk about real estate and increasing value within the real estate agents. And also tonight, we're going to be going over some good tips on real estate terms for buyers and sellers out there. So yeah, so if you guys can share this live stream, tag some people, bring them in, put your questions on Facebook or join us right here in the Zoom. All right. And we're going to get started. You guys can go right ahead and introduce yourselves while I continue. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. So introduce yourself to the people. Joe, Amelia, come on now. Come on in.
I'm Amelia Adams. I have been doing real estate for a little over 7 months. Today, I actually just closed on my first deal, but you know, I've been doing this for years. So yeah, today I closed on my first deal and I was a dual agency. So today we're going to go over some vocabulary and verbiage of real estate. A dual agent is an agent that represents the buyer and the seller. So yeah, that was exciting today.
Congratulations too, because that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'll give her a nice round of applause, man. It's a real deal out here when we got some closings happening. All right. I'm gonna continue hitting the share button so people can get up in here. All right,
share.
Cool.
I just posted it.
Cool. All right. So, Joe, you want to introduce yourself? You gotta unmute.
I thought I was, but I was on mute. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Joseph Wanamaker, aka Jersey Joe. I'm from Keller Williams in Morristown. Currently been in the game for 8 months. Yeah, I'm just here, just trying to be a student in the game, learn as much as I can. Yeah, we're gonna have a good class today, a good round table and discussion. So let's get it.
Absolutely. So again, as I said, this is the second New Agent Roundtable. You are here with the awesome team, right? We're here to make sure you guys stay well educated. This market is insane. Many of you are buyers, sellers. Some of you are even agents. And this is something that everybody needs. All right. So the first thing we want to start talking about is the real estate terminology. Some of you have already reached out to us and threw out some terms that we want to address and go over today, right? But let's start with the first term I want to start with, and you guys can take this from here and we can go around the room and give some terms. But AOS, that's an acronym for agreement of sale, right? So agreement of sale.
I hate.
What'd you say?
I said one of the few I hate.
Yeah. Agreement of sale is the contract between you, the buyer, and the seller. Okay, so the agreement of sale, so AOS. And the reason why that's important is because if you're out there thinking about buying a property, then agreement of sale is something that you're going to be signing off on to say, yes, I want to put this offer in. And if you're selling a property, the agreement of sale is going to be a document that is sent to you to review before you make a decision whether or not to sell the property. So many of us real estate agents, we like to use the shorthand terminologies. So we like to just say AOS or the agreement.
Or COS, contract to sell.
Exactly, right? So when you hear these terms, it can be intimidating, especially if it's your first time buying a house and your agent is running through the process and only says the acronym. So if you got a pen and paper at home, write down AOS means agreement of sale, or COS, contract of sale, right? That's what you said, Amelia, right? You said contract of sale?
Yeah.
Right, cool. So that's the first term of the night, agreement of sale. The reason, again, why that's important is because you want to have that. All right. So what other terms y'all got out there?
One of my favorites, let me see. My favorite is LA. I get a lot of people, they're like, what? What's the LA? Listing agent.
That's a big one.
Like
yeah,
that.
like LA. LA, yeah, that's one of my favorites because I'm always like, I'll text a client like, oh, the LA said that they don't like that in the agreement to sell. And they're like, the who? I'm like, oh, the listing agent. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's the side you want to be on.
Exactly,
representing the seller.
especially in this seller's market.
So listing agents, LA. So when your agent reaching out to y'all and says LA said this, LA said that, you know, it's the
We ain't
listing
talking about the LA
agent.
Lakers, man, and LeBron and them.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, one of the ones that that's commonly used is EMD, escrow money deposit, also known as good faith money deposit. So basically, if you want to seller side, like Amelia was saying, an LA listing agent, when you get them offers coming in, that's how sometimes you can determine what offer is stronger sometimes. Whoever put the most money down in escrow, which is what only can be supposedly supposed to be from 1% to 2%. But depending on your bank account, you can put down as much as you want. And that money goes towards your purchase price when it closes. So that'd be money going towards the final closing price. And yeah, you will see that money back.
Like that. So the EMD.
And there's another one that is a pain in the butt. It's UW. Can anybody guess what UW is?
UW. Man.
I have no clue.
Underwriter.
The underwriter.
Okay. Yeah, Angela.
Angela came in. Angela is actually in Texas, by the way. We didn't go around the room to do all full introductions, but Angela is in Frisco, Texas.
Nice to meet you, Angela.
This is awesome.
We got listing key in the building.
Listing key. That's her name.
Listing key. Yeah.
I like that.
That's it.
So what is an underwriter? Give me a breakdown of what that term is. So the UW is underwriter. Explain to us what an underwriter does and who is the underwriter.
The underwriter pretty much processes the mortgage for the buyer to get ready to officially apply for the mortgage commitment. And they work with the lender. Yeah, so you have the lender apply for the mortgage. Echo.
Yeah, Joe is on FaceTime. Facebook Live sharing it, and he's letting us hear it. But that's dope because he's
pardon me.
Yeah, so the lender, they'll put the terms together and everything like that. Underwriter is going to be the one to officially make the mortgage commitment happen.
So the underwriter is really the boss.
I final say so. Yeah.
Now here's a funny question. Have you ever spoken to an underwriter?
Yeah, I actually do all the time when I refer my clients to go get pre-approved.
That's awesome. It's always good to have that, contact, especially learning what the qualification process is.
It's definitely good to be connected with them because you want to build as many relationships as possible because that will take you further in your real estate career. It's building those long-term relationships. Welcome, Garnett. Hey, Jasmine on quiet.
Sherlock homeboy.
Come on in. So we got some good terms so far. The first term we have is agreement of sale. What else terms did we go over, guys? Agreement of sale.
Underwriting, listing agent, and earnest money deposit.
Exactly. I wanted to quiz y'all real quick. I needed to write it down so we can make sure. All right. So another term real estate. Another term in real estate that everybody should be familiar with is DOM. All right. What is DOM?
Days on market.
Days on market. So why is days on market important? Days on market is a very important indicator. If you are a buyer looking to purchase a home, when you look at the profile of the home, 10 times out of 10 is going to have DOM, days on market. If that number is high relative to the overall market, chances are you're getting a price reduction when you submit your offer, very much likely, right? If that number is low, maybe it's been on the market for 1 or 2 days, chances are you're going to have some competition and they're going to be maybe a multiple offer situation. Now, not always, but
not always. You might have a couple
Yeah,
buyer fall throughs.
yeah, that is true. So again, DOM. And again, for all the real estate agents out there, you need to know what your median or average DOM is for a particular area of your market. And most people who I work with and who I train, I like them to focus on a farm. Okay, and we're going to go into what a farm means next when I go around, because I'm going to break that acronym down. So DOM, days on market, that's the term. That's another term that we all should get a chance to know. All right, what's the next one, guys?
CO, certificate of occupancy.
Certificate of occupancy. I like that.
Oh yeah. Basically, that's like another home inspection from your municipal of what other town you live in. So basically, they come in, check the house, make sure it's livable, make sure things are, living condition, updated, like the doorbell, not the doorbell, like the lock, stuff like that.
Okay, so we have a certificate of occupancy. In my area, that's called the UNO. So we're it's called the UNO. We don't even have certificates of occupancy. We have the use and occupancy. So it's just literally the same exact thing, but it's just called the use and occupancy. And you have to get that. And it's a list of inspections that are needed to be done. And this is very important. And you know what? I'll let Joe explain how important it is.
Yeah, it's very important. Every town does their inspection differently. Like, for instance, Cherry Hill, they really not that serious. They might just check like the sidewalks and the fire system, like your alarm system, fire extinguisher, stuff like that. But sometimes it might go real in depth, like Willingboro. I heard Willingboro's hard. They really strict on the certificate of occupancy, and also Camden is very strict. So that's also things when it's time for you to put in an offer. That's some things you could take off the seller's hands of getting that CO, because every town might cost like $130, $150 to $200 around that price range for the owner to be able to purchase that. And then, he got to cover whatever they got to fix too before we close.
So that's a serious piece right there. So the CO, and I'm going to do use and occupancy. So the UNO.
That's actually good.
And that's for us Pennsylvanians, right? Because I'm in Pennsylvania there. There you go.
So I'm glad you
Philadelphia Millie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's funny and interesting that the terminology is not the same in different states. And being as though that PA is right next door to New Jersey, I had no idea that was totally different.
Yeah. And what's really cool? There are websites, like we have this website called Suburban Realtors Alliance. And that website actually allows you to go through 3 or 4 different counties, and you click on the county, and then within that county, you click on the area of the town, and you're able to find out exactly what's needed for the UNO. So it's no guessing, because some municipalities are not clear, right? And this is something for everybody. I don't care if you're buying real estate or you're a real estate agent. You need to know what is needed in order for that property to be clear. Okay, you need to understand, does it need a chimney cert? All right, and a cert is a short term for certification, meaning somebody's going to come out and check the chimney. Does it need an electrical cert?
Permits,
right?
Certain permits.
Exactly. The electrical certification. Make sure that it doesn't have knob and tube wiring. Make sure the electrical is done correctly. And this is important for buyers and agents alike, because you guys are out there in the field helping your buyers, and they may say the buyers are responsible for the UNO. And you find that oftentimes where you see an as-is home being sold on the market, they tell you buyers responsible for the UNO. So you, as the buyer's agent, whether you're new or you're experienced, you now have to go and find out from that municipality what is required in order to get you a clear UNO.
Absolutely. Because like you said, this municipal checks different things.
Yeah. And they can come back and get you, because it could take a long time for it to go. And some municipalities don't even accept any information, any certifications, unless the closing is 30 days out. So you will be going in and be like, all right, hey, I'm going to get the UNO stuff done 2 weeks before closing. And they'd be like, well, we can't get out there until this date. And now you have to push closing another week or so, and your clients end up paying for it due to the rate or whatever they have to pay for to keep that thing going. So it's very important. The use and occupancy and the CO, very important stuff.
Let me say something. Also, if you know your municipal, you know what they're going to check. That gives you like some comfortability. But like, you know what? I might waive the home inspection because you already know if you waive the home inspection, that's going to put you one up in your offer. So you know in the municipal what they're going to check. Or I could waive the home inspection because they're going to check all that anyway. Yeah. So if they're going to check all that and they validate it, so the house is good to go.
Exactly. We got people in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Showing love on Facebook. This is for y'all. This is for the real estate agents, the new agents, the buyers and the sellers, and for those who just want to have, knowledge in real estate so you guys can buy properties and earn some passive streams of income. These terms apply to you. So
hey.
What up, though?
Let's so what's the next term we putting out there?
AR.
And what's that?
Attorney review, a 3-day period in New Jersey where you have to, or you don't have to, but it's likely recommended for you to get an attorney to review the contract and make sure it is in your favor, whether you're representing the buyer or the seller.
How many days, Amelie?
Parties definitely have one, huh?
How many days?
3 business days, not 3 days, 3 business days. So if you go under contract on Thursday, you got to wait Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I typically, when I do my offers, I put it to end on Tuesday at 5:00 p.m. So like people don't think that it's okay. Well, the last day is going to be over at 12:00 p.m. Nope. I put 5:00 p.m. is the last day of when it's over for me.
Trying to review. And that's something new to me because I'm in a state where we don't use attorneys at all.
Yes, that's true. PA does not use attorney reviews. It is really, I heard that it's really common in North Jersey. South Jersey is like 50-50, but they said up in North Jersey, a lot of people do use attorneys.
How about you, Angela? Do you have an attorney state down there in Texas?
No, sir, not that I know of. So
That's awesome. I think attorney states are nice to have because it feels more formal, like something big is happening. But all I hear is horror stories from their attorneys being real estate experts.
It's crazy. I'm actually right now.
They break the whole contract down.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be like, why?
I'm under contract right now, and it's crazy because like my buyers really, really want this home, and I feel like their attorney is just stripping the contract apart. I'm like, please, like, why does everyone have to drive an hour and a half away to your office? Like, yeah. It's just doing too much. And I'm just like, I'm calling him like, can you just revise this email? Because I don't want this deal to fall apart. We've been looking for homes for a little over 7 months now. Like I've been an agent for 7 months. So that's how long me and this buyer have been looking for homes. So it means the most for this deal not to fall apart. So I'm gonna just knock on wood on that one.
Yeah, for real.
They just,
you know what?
They just want to show like they doing some work.
Yeah, because I guess they're getting paid, but still.
So attorney review, that's scary. Some scary stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sending people more invites. My girl Rochelle is gonna come in from San Diego.
Oh, that's nice. I'd love to hear.
It's nice in that area.
Does anyone in the Zoom have any questions? You can unmute your mic really quick, or is there any terms that you're interested in elaborating, or any terms that you've heard and you just were kind of caught off guard? Don't all jump at once.
Yeah. Does everybody in this Zoom use an attorney?
I'm currently under contract where the seller is using an attorney.
Okay. And how is that experience going?
He basically is cool. He just reviewed everything and they signed it. He sent it back. He didn't bring nothing down or nothing.
So it was a smooth selling from there, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think tomorrow is actually the last day of attorney review. So
attorney review. So if everybody out there who are just joining us or checking in, we're talking about real estate terms.
That's
and
actually
AR.
another get out of that's another a get out of contract free card.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute. So wait. Let me know about that. So you're telling me that attorney review period is another avenue for somebody to just back out if they didn't like the deal?
Absolutely. With no
So wait a
harm.
minute. If I woke up after I signed the contract and gave you my earnest money deposit, I can call within that 3-day period and say, "Hey man, the sky is orange today. I'm not ready to buy a house," and you got to
send the
give me my
escrow
money
release.
back.
You send an addendum, escrow release addendum, boom.
Wow.
Seller sign it, boom. We out of there.
Wow. And this is for Jersey and for some, and I believe New York. I don't know if anybody else is in here who has an attorney state where you have to go with an attorney and to do your real estate deals, transactions.
And also, a
Scary.
seller could backdoor you too.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? They can still have showings because some agents can still continue the showings until after the attorney review is over. So offer could come in better than yours, and they boom, we just received another offer way better than yours. Hop right into contract with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's actually good, though, because just want to add on top of that, if any of you guys here in the room or in the chat, agents wise, when you write your contract and you get under contract, it's always wise that you want to put in there to take the home off the market, stop all showing.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I had that happen to me my first deal. It's like, oh, I'm under contract, and it was day 2 of the attorney review. But for me, we signed a contract on Thursday. Attorney review started Friday, ended on Tuesday. And I guess he was doing showings Saturday and Sunday. So the last day comes Tuesday at 12 o'clock. He's like, oh, we got another offer. I'm like, what? I'm like, we're under attorney review. And my client at the time wasn't using an attorney. So we lost out on that house. We waited 3 days for basically nothing for the listing agent to tell me that they took another offer.
that's ruthless.
Yeah. Yep. So
Wait
when
a
I
minute.
contract sign and we're getting ready to start attorney review, I make sure I put in the contract or in a side email somewhere to take the home off the market and stop all showings, because agents, it's a seller's market and they're doing the best for their client. So they're going to allow showings to keep happening, and then they'll just take other offers. And then if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, they can just say, oh, well, we're going to back out of the deal. We have another offer. And then you just wasted that time, 3 days for nothing. And you have to go right back to the drawing board to start over.
That actually just happened with me with my latest deal I just posted in Willenboro. So boom, we signed a contract Saturday. He stopped showings on Sunday. Monday come around, he called me like, boom, seller chose another offer. Tuesday come around, he called me back and said them buyers ain't want to move forward. So we back on. Just like that. I'm like, yo.
So let me ask you guys something, because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this attorney review stuff. And I know if most people in here that don't have attorneys, they still thinking about it as well. During this attorney review period, what you're telling me is the best strategy for me to do is to encourage my agent, and I'm speaking from a buyer, encourage my agent to put inside of the contract to remove the property off the market, right?
Your
So
offer.
in your offer. So when I'm putting an offer in, I need to write inside. And guys,
Absolutely.
listen, you need to be writing this down or remembering this or screenshot this or something, because what you need to make sure you're putting in is something that restricts them from accepting other offers to lock it in. Because if you do not, they are opening that up to somebody else coming in and saying, hey, listen, I got all cash and I'm ready to close in 14 days. Right. They're like, okay, your deal is this way, and I'm sorry about that. But if you put it in your deal, it's a part of the contract if they sign it. So that's like a checkmate move right there for
I'm gonna actually tell you the right language to have in your offer. I'm gonna tell you the right language to put. All right, so here we go. Once agreement is fully signed and deposits is received, all showings to stop and status to change to pending and bright MLS. So once your escrow the money deposit is delivered, that's when everything stops. So your hope is not to get in a contract on the weekend.
I do mine.
Once you get in a contract under the weekend, oh man, you got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday attorney review starts because it's 3 business days. So anything can happen in 3 days.
And sometimes agents do comply. Like if the home has been sitting on the market for, I don't know, like 30, 40 days, they'll automatically take it off the market because they're just ready to move on from the seller's listing and get it sold.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure.
Being that I'm in Texas, I was just curious. I mean, don't y'all have an option period?
What is that exactly, an option period?
Sound like
Okay,
a
well,
contingency period.
in the contract, I mean, it's the same, at the same time, when your client, if say you have a buyer and they give earnest and option money and they give a certain amount of money for for their option to have 3 to 5 days, whatever it is, and they pay for that in order for them to the seller to take the house off of the market and allow the time, yeah, for
So
them to do
basically,
their
it's
due
another
diligence.
fee that you pay. It's another
Yeah.
fee that you pay on top of your escrow.
Yes. So do y'all not have that?
Yeah, so we do have that, but most people don't even know what it is. And I love that you brought that up, Angela, because that strengthens your deal. Okay, the options money is, I literally have that on my phone from the last training I went to in Atlantic City at Triple Play, where the instructor was talking about options. And she is from, I believe she's from Texas. If I'm not mistaken, her name is Maura O'Neill. I gotta, she's a baker, so you know I love food. So I've been following her. So I still have that quote of what options money truly is. And it's literally like a signing bonus, right? It's something to stimulate the listing agent to go back to their seller with excitement and enthusiasm on your deal to say, hey, they're giving us this, right? They're giving us this and this. So it just seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, Angela, can't option money be in a form of non-refundable versus refundable?
Well, actually, normally it is also the extra, it doesn't necessarily go to the seller unless the buyer decides to back out, and then the seller automatically gets that money. But otherwise, it is also, if the contract goes through and accepted and everything, then it is also added to the earnest money towards the final payment of the house.
So that's
So-
a tactic y'all use in Texas. The
We could use it
strengthen your
here
offer.
too.
Oh,
We
you can
have-
do it?
We have it listed on our contracts as additional deposit, but I don't know too many people that use it here. And honestly, when I do any deals, I never tell my clients to give earnest money deposits until after we're out of attorney review period. But it is an option here to do it on our contract, but I've just never done it.
Yeah.
I'm just really surprised that because earnest and option money, they're two separate things, but
Right.
the seller can get it if the buyer decides to back out, but then it goes towards the house, like the escrow money does, or I'm sorry, the earnest money, I apologize, I misspoke. When the transaction goes
They
through.
go towards the purchase price.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's the same, it's the same functionality, but what I believe we all need, what I know we all need to take note of is that's a strategy that stands your deal out. So if you guys are putting in offers and somebody is coming in and saying, hey, here's my deal, let's just say we have a $250,000 house. Everybody puts in $250,000. All things being equal, everyone's asking for inspection, everyone's asking for appraisal, but one person is giving an additional deposit of $10,000, right? And that $10,000 is an addition to the deposit, not giving them free money. Another person gives them an additional $5,000 non-refundable. They can keep that. Another person, wait, let me finish. So we got five people here, right? We got 5 people putting in the offer. One person gives us, a straight up $250 offer flat out, right? Second person gives $250 offer with an earnest money deposit. An extra earnest money deposit of $10,000. Third person goes in with an extra option money deposit of 5,000 non-refundable. I don't want that. I'm giving it to the seller. It's another 5,000. We know really that's really just going 5,000 on your offer, but you're making it sound like they're getting a freebie because of the wording, right? And then the last two people are just giving whatever deals. Which one is going to stand out to the seller more?
Well, Javier, here in Jersey, we don't really typically that I know of do that here. So like if the house is $250,000 and a client offers like, I don't know, we'll say $5,000 earnest money deposit. A lot of people have been doing an appraisal gap. An appraisal gap covers for the seller if the home doesn't appraise. So those people are doing 10, 15, or maybe $5,000. Well, because if the house is $250,000, they'll do between $5,000 and $10,000. And that's what the seller looks for to pick the best offer. Like, how is this going to benefit me? And if it's going to benefit me, like I want to make sure this deal doesn't fall apart. So a lot of us here in New Jersey do appraisal gaps instead of doing that non-refundable money.
Appraisal gap. So we got a question in the chat. We got two questions, by the way. One, we have the flood question. We're going to get to that. But we have another question from Jason. So he said, I know a client that bought a house and it has electrical code violations and it was written off an inspection before it sold FHA loan. Must have clearly been a real estate agent that sold our house and not a realtor. That's true. Real estate agents are not realtors. All right, we got a code of ethics. So remember that.
Is Jason saying that the house was sold and there was something wrong with the electrical? Did they waive inspections?
Yeah. So think about it is we are in the position in the marketplace where people will waive inspections. Like you were just getting into appraisal gaps, which is a clever way of somebody saying, hey, if this house doesn't appraise, I'm gonna go ahead and put this money into that so we can get it done, right? Because we have to make it happen. Same thing with inspections. Somebody may go into a house and be like, hey, I looked inside, all your stuff was covering all the damage. It looks good. I don't care about inspections because I want this house. And I've lost 10 houses already, right? That's the only reason why a person will be in that position to be taken advantage of like that when they go in. And remember, y'all, most of the agents agree. They say, okay, you're right. You don't need no inspections. Go ahead and get some insurance.
A good agent, a real estate agent say that. A realtor is not going to say.
A realtor is not going to say that. And here's a tip, guys. I want to throw something out there.
Yes.
When you're running into a scenario where there is a hyper interest in your market and you want to give your clients the best shot and still protect them, do as many showings as you can. So for example, if somebody house goes on the market on Monday, right? You need to be out there on Monday seeing the house. Even if your client is not with you, all right? Get in contact with an inspection company or contractor. Bring them out. Do about 2 or 3 or 4 showings on that house and get acclimated to what's going on. There's no limit on showings, how many you can do. So most agents will say, the house is on the market. We're not reviewing offers until Tuesday. And they may say the house is on the market on Thursday. So you got 4 days to cram as many showings with your client, their friends, anybody who they want to keep in the loop, but also a contractor who can walk through the house with you so you can feel comfortable to waive inspections. So that'd be the tip for y'all that want to waive inspections. Bring contractors and see it as many times as you can.
Mm-hmm. Pay them like $200.
and they give you a soft inspection too. Like they won't have to, it's not going to be heavy, but it'll be enough for you to know like, hey, this area seems a little funky over here. This basement smells like it get flooded. But let's talk about flood insurance. Have y'all had any experience with flood insurance yet?
I haven't had to deal with flood insurance, but it has come up for a client that was interested in a home in a flood zone area.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had to deal with it just yet. Garnett, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, I know you said something about flood insurance. Are you dealing with it right now? Is it something that is about to come up or has come up?
First of all, of course, I want to unmute myself, Amelia. How about that?
I like
so
that.
Now,
He said, of course.
What's going on, y'all? Yeah, so I mean, I'm actually like dealing with it right now. I'm not saying I got it under control at all. I just wanted to get you guys, like, if y'all been through it, like, what was your experience with it? But I have a client right now that's checking out a house, and it's in a flood zone area, and the house actually been through a couple offers that was supposed to, happen, and it ended up falling through. And
What
after
is
I
it?
talked,
What's that 510 Lennox Road?
hey man, I ain't gonna tell you what's going on.
Let them know. Let them know. Give that elbow real quick.
Yeah,
Let them
you better
know.
shut up. That's what you better do, Joe.
Get
Jersey
'em.
Joe, shit.
Get 'em.
So yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on, right? But I reached out to my lender. I sent him over, everything necessary, and basically what he was saying is, what probably happened was that the flood insurance was probably too high. And when I spoke to the actual listing agent, she didn't tell me these things. We kind of had to piece it together to like see. But the first thing she said was, before you put in an offer, make sure that you get a quote for your, flood insurance. So I'm guessing that kind of what happened over there at that property. But yeah, I just wanted to see, like, if you guys experienced anything like that, like what's next, what's, because all that is kind of new to me right now. I'm learning on the go. So
Well, I appreciate you. I
That was
appreciate
actually
you,
my
man.
first time hearing about it when I called the agent of that, and she gave me a breakdown and everything.
For Garnett, I will say, honestly, just keep in touch with your client's lenders to see how much, their mortgage payment is going to be, and then find out from maybe a referral or someone for a flood insurance to see how much extra that would be on top of their mortgage payment, and see if your client is comfortable with that.
Yeah. I would, I'm sorry.
nah, I said solid. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's what y'all know I got a crazy something crazy with flood insurance.
Oh no.
All right. I know it's coming. All right, listen. So this is for everybody out there. I'm telling y'all right now, you gotta think outside the box. This is the only way. This is the only way. So here's what you need to do. First thing, before you guys get out there and get into situations with flood insurance, know where the floodplains are, know the differences of the 500-year versus 100-year versus the AE, understand what that is. And also ask yourself, what is causing flood insurance, right? What is causing the flood insurance? The thing that's causing the flood insurance is the items that run the house is on the ground floor. So if it floods, the heater, the air conditioning, all that stuff cuts out. So the house can't be run. You lose value. The bank loses their bet that they gave you money on. Okay. So how do you change that? Simple. If you find a house, and this is not easy for every house, y'all, but this is an option that you need to be thinking about and discussing with your clients. Sometimes you can have scenarios, and many of you have seen it, but might have not have known why it was there. Elevated utility units in the house. So for example, in Croydon, I live in an area where the floodplains are always changing. After every storm, they are redrawing the floodplains, and neighborhoods that never was flooded now all of a sudden got to pay for flood insurance. Okay. Some of the houses are being built where the air conditioning unit, everything is electric in the house. So everything is now elevated to a certain feet. If those items are elevated, you don't need flood insurance. You don't need it. It just goes away. You don't need it anymore. Right. Wow. Or if the house is raised to a certain level, you don't need it anymore. All right. Now I know it's not as easy to just go up to your client. Well, hey man, we're going to put this thing on stilts. Like that's not going to happen. But if you are in a situation where that is possible, if the house has double levels and you can raise it or you can do something to it, especially for the electrical units, because all that is a compressor outside and a big ass unit inside the house somewhere in the attic anyway. Right. So the compressor is the thing that's really charging you. And of course, you have some other things involved. Another way, right? Because that's my crazy, when I talk to my clients, I got to really know what I'm talking about before I tell them that. But another way instantaneously is find brokers, insurance brokers. I have called around and I know, and we got Shot in the building. He knows a lot about flood insurance because he deals with it on a regular basis being a lender. But if you call a broker and shop around, you can get somebody to give you a good quote. And if the homeowner has a company that they use already, get that information. So you'll call the LA, the listing agent, right? You'll call the listing agent and you'll say, hey, which one is which company your client using and who's their rep? Oh, their rep is so-and-so. Great, give them a call. Hey, so-and-so, my client is looking to buy this house. It's flood insurance, you know that. Is there any way you can give them a similar quote? Boom, of course I can. Boom, done. So that quote that you originally got from somebody else that wasn't involved with the property was super high, but this person who's experienced with the property and knows more about what's going on can offer you a better rate. So that was a great question. I really hope that helped. But you got to think creative and you got to think on your feet. And this is why we have the roundtable. So I really hope that helped, Garnett.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I think that area is built on a creek.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you, man, raising your utilities takes it out. We got Shad Hammond in the building, man. So
Boy, Hammond.
yeah, Shad is in the building, man.
Hammer
He's in
time.
the building, man. All right, so we went over our terms. Sales price versus list price is the last term. I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go over. You guys gonna give one last term, and then we're gonna go over another. Our other section is first generational home buyers versus first time home buyers. But anyway, let's start with sales price versus list price. So a list price, and this is very important to understand, especially for the new agents, to know the ratios. A list price is what I originally list the house for. So if I put my house on the market for $500,000 and I sold it at $480,000, that ratio is a $20,000 split, easy. But you need to realize if that is consistent in other properties in that area to start to understand where the trend levels are. So if your sales price list price ratio is, lower than that 98 or that 90%, you can start seeing prices coming down. And this is good if you're a buyer's agent, because if you keep losing and you all of a sudden see an 87, 82, 85% sales price list price ratio, that's your time to bring your client back into the fold. Call your renters who decided to keep renting, call the discouraged clients who don't want to talk to you no more, and let them know this is the time to strike. Why? Because I am seeing a trend of a buyer's market starting up. How do you know that? Well, ... Okay. So sales price, list price ratio, that's more for the real estate agents that are tuning in, that are here. Because if you don't know that, if you do know that, it empowers you. But if you don't know that, you won't know when things are shifting and you may be late to the party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when the shift does happen, only way you're gonna really know if you're on the seller side.
Because listings keep the products moving. If you ain't listing, what you doing? Buyer's agents, I love y'all, and I'm a buyer's agent and a listing agent at times. But to keep things flowing, to keep people coming to you, listing keeps everything going, So let's go on to another term. And we're going past 9:30, y'all, especially because we started late. So I want to let y'all know that. Oh, we got Felix in the building.
Another term.
He put in the question. Hold on, we want to answer the question real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So in a market where there are more buyers than sellers, how do we show our value and have them hire us, opposed to selling as a FSBO? Wow.
Wait, say that again.
So basically, we
I
have
really like this.
Yeah. She said, "Whoa, what you say, Felix? Huh? Wasn't that bad?" So in a market where there are more buyers than sellers, how do we show our value and have them hire us, opposed to selling it themselves, which is FSBO, which could be your next term, Amelia, if you want that, right? Because FSBO is an acronym for what?
For sale by owner. My favorite.
All right, so let us know. How do you entice somebody to sell with you and not do it themselves?
So to be honest, it's the confidence, it's your trustworthiness, it's your ability to sell yourself, to brand yourself. Today I just closed on my first deal, and it was actually, I was a dual agent, which is another term, not an acronym. A dual agent means that you represent the buyer and the seller, and you have a fiduciary responsibility to not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Thank you, Garnett. And yeah, so it's crazy because I have never met my seller. I don't know what he looks like. I couldn't point him off the street. He didn't come to closing. I don't know what his ID looks like, but it was my trust that he trusted me to get the job done. He said, I'm gonna give you 30 days to get my property sold. And I said, what's the lowest number you'll take? I knew the lowest number he would take. And then I went 100 with it. We got multiple offers. We got a couple low ball offers, but then I got him the number he wanted. And today he was just sitting on the phone and he's like, I can't believe you got it done. And I say, yeah, I told you I'm a woman to my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So it's all about trust. It's all about making that buyer or that seller feel comfortable with what you say, and can you perform with what you say you're gonna do.
Like that. Congratulations, by the way. That's
Yeah.
an amazing thing. And was he a FISBO at all or no?
He was a FISBO. So I told you guys on the last roundtable talk that I do 25 calls a day.
Yes.
And actually, it's crazy. Today, I actually got another rental from my current rental landlord. He's like, you know what? I want you to list my next one. And really, it goes live tomorrow, but I already have 17 people from the first one that it's not even going really go live, but it's
That's
really
amazing.
about.
Congratulations.
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you just gotta like really show trust, show commitment, because if you were the person on the other side, if you were a buyer or if you were a seller, what would you look for in an agent?
Yeah. You asking me that?
City girl.
You
I
asking
think
me
that
that?
was, I think
No,
that
I'm
was just,
saying-
I think that
I'm
was
just
just to
saying-
everybody.
Oh, words. I'm like, wait a minute. So,
No. I'm just saying in
but I
general.
love
like,
that though. Like, I love that. Like, you gave a direct approach of being a woman of your word, but standing behind it. And
Yeah.
even though you didn't know your client from a can of paint, they still trusted you because of what you provided.
Mhm.
And Joe, how would you convince a FISBO to list with you, Joe?
Basically, what I would tell them is like, what you're doing is right because you are the owner. So I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell your home, get the top dollar for yourself because you are the owner. You could do what you want to do.
Yeah.
The house is going to sell, but are you trying to sell it? Are you just trying to sell it, or are you trying to get top dollar? My job is to help you get top dollar. This is a seller's market. I'm trying to put your home in a pedestal that nobody else can. I mean, you could do it yourself because any realtor, this is what we're going to do. Post it on social media. Post it up. It's going to go on Zillow. I mean, you're going to do the same thing. Every realtor is going to tell you, I have the top marketing skill sets.
Yeah.
They're going to just put the sign in the yard because this is a seller's market right now. They just put the sign in the yard. Your house going to sell. They ain't
I
do
love
nothing
that.
really. They just
So
did
you
what-
agree with them. So you're going to agree with them, but you're going to also
agree
tell
with
them what you're going to do to their property to
Right.
get it the highest and best price point.
I'm gonna get that traffic
I like that.
of a motivated, highly qualified buyers
Yeah.
that you're looking to come into your home. Because
Yeah.
for sell by owners, they might have one or two, and then they come with an agent. Their agent gonna rip that house apart. So if you listen to 200, once we had them home inspections, boom, now you down to probably like 180, 175, bro. When you got a realtor on your side that know how to negotiate,
Oh,
it's over.
I love that. So yeah.
When I do my phone calls, a tip that I use is like, because that's all I do is really for sale by owners or expireds. So when I get the objection that, oh, I don't want to list with an agent, I always tell them like, listen, Zillow is a small portion of the world. You want to have your home in front of millions of people. So if you list with me, I can put it on the MLS, which will bring you, millions of buyers. And I always tell them like Zillow literally is for non-qualified buyers, and it's for like people that are non-qualified and they're going to lowball you. You're not going to get qualified buyers. So if you list with me, I'm going to bring you a pool of
Right.
qualified buyers.
Right.
Yeah.
They
So you're
coming.
going to expose the house in a much better light.
Right.
You're going to
Yes.
showcase it better. Now, what about the documents, right? Because let's be honest, if I'm a FSBO, for sale by owner. I'm a regular, homeowner. Do I know anything about the agreement of sale, the earnest money deposit, the contingency period, the everything, right? We just literally went through, and I'm glad Felix, and I didn't put that in there, by the way. Felix pulled up and dropped that bomb that helped us out real quick, because that's what we went over the terms for. We just went over these terms because it is not easy, right? When a person that says, I want to go out and sell my house by myself, what they're saying is, I can do what you can do.
Mhm.
And that's not true. We have fiduciary duties. We got a code of ethics, right?
Yeah.
We have so many different layers of the process. I believe the real estate transaction takes 187 steps. It's no way a regular person off the street could just do what we do. You can't go into the courtroom and be a lawyer. You can try.
Yeah.
Most
Right.
cases, what happens when you go and represent yourself in a court of law? What happens typically? What do we always? Right? It never works, right? So that's the best thing I want everybody to remember from what they said, because what they said is 100% true. It's
Right.
the things you're doing. But remember who you are as a realtor, right?
Yeah.
As a realtor, you are somebody that holds a special sense of responsibility in your market, in your neighborhood, that unfortunately the homeowner doesn't hold unless they went to real estate school, which is not hard, but it takes some commitment. Shad, how you feel about that? Are we the crossing guards of the of the adult world? Are we out here really stopping traffic and letting people understand the safety of these people crossing to the other planes, or are we just regular Joe Schmoes out here pretending to be professionals?
I think we're the gatekeepers of prosperity, right? I think we're the gatekeepers of prosperity. If you check my comment in the chat, you can let it be amateur hour and try to sell your house. And again, I think one thing we talk about our own personal pride and about the value that we offer when, someone gives us the floor to talk about why they should go with us. But again, I think it's very important about the layer of protection, because again, like you said, do they know about an AOS? Do they know about EMDs? And do they know about these type of terms that we've been using? Definitely want to get top dollar for your house, but who would do a transaction these days without a title company involved?
Absolutely. They hiring lawyers and everything.
Right?
Wow.
I have a deal going right now where we found a $210,000 lien, an IRS lien on the seller. That's not good. That means somebody could have bought that house. Just imagine if he sold his house to someone and there was no title company involved and it was just a handshake of a deal. But again, when you bring agents involved, agents are going to bring their whole entourage. They're going to bring home inspection. They're going to bring possible insurance guy, connect, like Javier talked about, right? But they're going to bring their favorite title company and the title folks that they normally work with. All of that is a layer of protection that you guys provide these sellers or these buyers, and it can't, again, be undervalued. You cannot ignore that. So, again, let them know, hey, look, you can keep an amateur hour if you want, but you're going to be very upset if you buy a house that has a ton of baggage tied to it and it now becomes your baggage. Right?
I love that, man. That's just a level
Yeah, that
of
really good. Thank
that's
you.
just coming in like silk right there. I was smooth. Well, you know what? That brings us to our next topic. Our final topic of the night is, what is the difference? And Shad, you actually came up with this we do a lot of events together, man. So I don't know where it was, but it was somewhere where we were presenting to somebody. And you made a point to say there is a difference of first-time home buyers and first-generational home buyers. Okay, let me go back. First-time home buyers, then there's first-generational home buyers. And when we start to really understand the differences, they require a different level of attention. And we as real estate agents, no matter where you are in your career, your days get busy. Things just start happening. And people start just fitting into boxes. Not physically, because that'd be weird, but in your mind, I got a buyer, I'm gonna do these things. Blah, 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 blah. I got a seller, I'm gonna do things. I got a UNO, a CEO, I'm gonna do these things. I gotta do some lead generation, and that's it. Right? But you're not classifying and breaking down what you should be, and understanding that just running through this presentation with this person as you normally did the other 98, that's not gonna cut it, because they don't understand. They hear you and they nodding and they saying, "Oh, great, thank you." But they're now going back to a home, and I'm speaking of the first generational home buyers, going back to a home setting where no one in that household has ever purchased real estate. And most people who are making big decisions require or some type of counsel from within the circle, right? Somebody has to give me something. Okay. And what I'm really getting at here is the difference, but Shad, I already kind of like opened it up. So give us your take on the two differences from a lending standpoint and why it's important for us agents to really identify the two.
Well, from speaking of experience, and again, Javier and I, we spoke about it a couple of days ago, where I mean, that really a transaction when you're working with a first generational home buyer is a transaction where all of the team has to be on the same page, because there's nothing that can be left for interpretation or, he probably knows. No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And again, if you leave it to Larry at the water cooler at work to teach him, or his next door neighbor who hasn't bought a house since the 90s to teach him what you meant in that email, you are, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? And so, again, not to speak too specifically, but I just had a transaction where a young man is 25 years old, really solid job, has a fiance and a child. He is the direct son of a Senegalese mom who came over fresh off the boat, works for some rich folks in the house. And she actually lives in that house, kind of like old school, the help, so to speak, where she's far, far away in like a little, in-law suite on the campus of the house. That's where he was born and raised. Never did they ever make any kind of big ticket item purchase. So again, 25, about to make the biggest purchase of your life. And I mean, he didn't understand EMD. I couldn't abbreviate anything. AOS, EMD, option money. You couldn't, nothing. He didn't know anything. Didn't know that his house needed insurance. Didn't know the difference between home inspection and home appraisal. I literally had to do a Zoom just to explain that. So again, that layer of TLC gets amplified when we have a first generational home buyer. And believe it or not, they're out there. So we obviously know more millennials buy homes now. That's anybody between like 28 and 40 right now, right? Or buying more homes than anybody, over 45%. Well, a lot of those folks are not only just first-time home buyers, which make up about 39% of the home purchase sales right now are first-time home buyers, right? But a lot of them are first generational home buyers. And I'm telling you, you will have to hold their hands. And it's not just with him. So, it's important when you are identifying who you work with and starting to kind of build your customer profile for everybody, all of your prospects, is really important to define like who's really fresh and green at this and who's really, really, really fresh and green at this, right? And when you're doing your buyer consultations, when you're like checking off, he has a job and he works at, Pep Boys and his birthday's in June and he's a first generational home buyer or first time home buyer, I really think there may need to be a slot in there because again, you can't assume that their mom and dad bought a house, right? Or someone close to them bought a house. I mean, this person didn't know anyone that bought a house ever. And so you'll find more and more of those when you're doing your buyer interviews and prospecting new buyers. So just don't undervalue it or underestimate it. I'm sure somebody else has something to add or seen one of them before.
I'm actually dealing with that. That was really good because now I know to screen buyers and ask them like, hey, have you ever bought a house before? Do you know anyone in your family? Have they bought in a house before? Do you have like any understanding to the terms? That's actually a really good point that you made, Shah. So I could say I really appreciate that
That's the
because
question
helped
though.
screen my future clients in the future.
Yeah, somebody put that question in there is how do you ask a question and what questions do you ask comfortably? And I would instantly answer that is you don't necessarily need to ask a direct question of, hey, did anybody buy in your household? What you need to do is slow down and go through the process with your clients, right? Treat them as if they're first generational home buyers, even if they're not, right? Bless you. Treat them as that. Now, again, the reason why we identify those two groups is to emphasize why it's important to treat everybody with that care. Okay, because just because I'm a first-time home buyer, my mom got millions and trillions of dollars, doesn't mean I know what EMD mean, right? It just redefine it re-emphasizes the need of the buyer's presentation, okay, and going over these things as if they don't know. And again, it doesn't make a difference whether you're first generational or just first time. You don't know anyway. But if we treat everybody as if they don't know, then we go ahead and avoid having to question the person in that way. Because again, it's a tough question. You don't want to be like, hey man, everybody been renting over there or what? What's going on? What? I don't know. You know what I mean? Somebody be like, that's disrespectful. So, and that took us. So, since we got Shy here, it's only right we start talking about interest rates, right? Because that's why everybody's here, right? Everybody wants to know. When Jay Powell speaks, the block listens. And Jay Powell was speaking today. If anybody who don't know who Jay Powell is, Jerome Powell is our Fed chair, okay? And he controls the money. Inflation is high. And I'm going to let Shad talk more about that because y'all know I love going into it. Shad, did you catch his speech today or any text from what he talked about?
Let me get my notes up.
He's definitely going to be tightening some things up. And literally within 20 minutes after he started speaking, the rates went up an eighth. Some lenders are offering now a quarter more than where they were like when they opened up this morning.
4%.
It was instant. And I got an email that, from my vice president that was like, look, lock everybody in because within probably 10, 15 minutes, the market is going to change drastically. And the market did not like what he mentioned. And for the most part, it's, it's been wow. Yeah, it literally was within about 14 minutes. I'm just looking at something right now. They counted the minutes and they're showing on this graph of like how stuff changed like instantly. So just contrary to popular belief, when the Fed does announce interest rate hikes, it doesn't directly affect mortgage interest rates, right? Mortgage interest rates are impacted by something completely different, which is bonds. And people are like, what the heck is bonds? So you got stocks and you got bonds, right? And so usually when the stock market has bad news, people sell stocks and then they invest in bonds. And that investment in bonds, which are safer, slower ways to get money and in slower, safer ways to invest, when bonds do well, mortgage rates typically go down. Because again, we're kind of directly tied to bonds. So again, bad news in the economy, terrible situations with COVID, and just anytime you hear bad news in the marketplace or in business, usually that means good news for interest rates, and mortgage guys are like, yes. So, even though we know, again, they're not directly tied together, there's probably going to be at least 4 interest rate hikes. And those interest rates are for like when you go to buy a car or you get a credit card or when you buy furniture at Raymore and Flanagan and, you see like, damn, why is it so damn high to get credit here? That's what the interest rates, Mr. Powell and the Fed, his general interest rate directly ties to other layers of credit. But all of it means basically is just this. We got high inflation, we got high cost of living, everything is going to get increased. And I was about to call him Governor Powell, Fed Reserve guy Powell, who I really can't stand, is essentially pulling back government oversight from mortgage interest rates, real estate interest rates. He's no longer going to get involved and keep interest rates low. So he's just going to let the market be whatever it's going to be. And unless it really, really gets funky, he's just going to let things just rock out and do whatever they're going to do, probably for at least the first 6 months of this year. So what we're looking at are rates probably going to be between 3.875 to about 4.25 for a good part of the year. Now, again, that's still pretty low considering everybody on this call, our parents bought houses for a lot higher than that, right? But for us in the short term and being extremely entitled, remember last year, we spent some time in the twos. Year before that, we definitely spent some time in the twos, you know? So when we hear these fours, there's a lot of shock and awe, but really ain't that bad. Now, what it does affect, and Javier jumped on my live yesterday, is when you're shopping with your buyers, and this is super duper important. So I don't want to talk you guys to death, and it is getting late. If you take away nothing from what I said, is that any pre-approvals walking these streets right now, going back to, let's say, December, which wasn't but too long ago, you need to have another discussion with that buyer, or that buyer needs to have another discussion with their lender, because chances are that their purchase price, right, has been compromised as rates have literally jumped a 0.5 point from Christmas Eve. And so there's your powder room, there's your finished basement, there's your patch of grass out back, right? These are the things that could really make a difference when something jumps 1/4 or 0.5 point and your purchase price has been compromised about 20, 30 grand. Again, that may not sound like a lot, but if you're counting your bucks already, right, and you're nickel and diming already, again, you lose 20 grand, 25 grand, and you were at 200 and now you're at 175, and your realtor's already taking you to 20 houses. Chances are it's probably going to be another 20 more houses now, because it's a lot harder to shop at 175 than it is at 200. So
Absolutely.
definitely, you know, have more dialogue with your buyers. You know, anybody that you know is shopping and is looking, preach urgency. But do know that, again, that 1/4 to a 0.5 point increase is definitely eliminating, you know, that extra parking spot in the driveway or that rooftop deck. You can forget it. So that's what's the latest.
I love that. And that was a nice
Update.
breakdown of what's going
That was
down.
really good. Like, tuned in.
For real. Like he was making a market move while he was talking. He was like Jay Powell, the market was changing right there. So what did y'all take from that as far as like what should you guys be doing immediately? And I would love to hear from anybody in the room. We got a nice crowd here tonight, even though we're gonna be out of here in like 10 more minutes. Amelia ain't playing no games. She said it's nighttime. It's the round table, guys. We're doing this every other week. Okay, every other week we're gonna be here from 8:30 to 9:30 live on Facebook. I got the Facebook right here, and we're gonna be doing this on Zoom. So give me some feedback. I would love to hear. Well, give Shy some feedback. I would love to hear your thoughts on.
So everything you said was great, and it's actually really good to know that the market doesn't move off of the stock market, because I really didn't know that when I came into real estate. It was just like me not knowing how to answer, what does that mean, like to watch the market, to know the market. So now that you kind of sort of broke that down, that really gives me insight, and I'm actually getting ready to run. But everybody in the room, I really want y'all to do me a favor and watch this movie called The Big Short, because it really shows you what happened in 2008 with the housing market and how everybody was qualifying for houses and how any and everybody off the streets was getting houses. And then the market flipped and it started tanking and inflation was very, very high. It's a real good movie. I think I forgot the star actors, but it's really good. I'm challenging everybody to watch that movie because mostly everybody in this room is a real estate agent. And if you really want to understand the market and how it moves, The Big Short is going to be the movie to watch.
I like that. All right, well, that's
Great
The Big
movie, man.
Short. I'm
Great
writing that
movie.
down.
Phenomenal
The Big
movie.
Short.
Yes.
And
Yep.
and it's really close to the book. So the book is by Michael Lewis. He wrote
Yeah.
Moneyball. He
Yep.
wrote a lot of really good business books. He makes it not businessy, if that's
Yeah.
even the word, but the movie is fantastic. It has the guy from The Office in it and a ton of stars.
Yeah.
But it's just like the book. And again, if you don't see the movie, read the book. But the book is phenomenal. It's the same
Like
guy
that.
who wrote Moneyball and a bunch of other books, but it's a
We
great
got
movie.
we got another question in here. My man Felix is coming through with the heat. He says, how does the raise in interest rates affect our conversation with sellers? Damn. Felix, man, I appreciate you for coming in here right now. And I wish you could be here to Zoom because Felix is actually with Century 21 Action Plus Realty, which is one of, I think it's the largest Century 21 office in New Jersey. And he's actually one of the trainers. I learned a lot from him. A lot of this, what you see here is from his teaching. So a lot of you hear what I'm talking about is mainly from him. Not mainly, but I get inspiration from him. He gives me a lot of information. But that's the question I'm putting out there. How does the rise in interest rates change our conversation with the sellers that we're trying to encourage to sell their home? Anybody can take this. We got some new faces in the room. Please unmute yourselves. Anybody jump in on this?
That urgency, guys. You already know.
I'll
Yeah.
jump at
Oh.
once.
Houses might sit a little longer now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Less motivated buyers, qualified buyers.
Less
Yeah.
qualified buyers. And does that mean that they're taking you're coming into the market at a more aggressive price tag and not reaching for the stars?
Now you have to go ahead, Millie.
No, I'm just adding possibly because, if you're looking to spend 250,000 and your interest rate is higher, well, now you're going to have a bit more of a higher monthly payment. So that might mean coming down on the price of your home, which it might mean coming a price down on your home. So with that being said, there might not be as many $200,000 homes in the market. So now you're stuck between should I raise my budget as to looking for a $250,000 homes, or do I just wait to see if more homes come on the market?
Yeah.
Outlook.
I basically say that, the house prices will definitely drop.
Yes,
You want them buyers, you want them qualified buyers now to fit into their qualifications.
Yeah.
So your house price could fit into their qualifications. So you can still get that traffic coming to your home.
So you're saying to do it right now rather than later. So this should be an opportunity to encourage them to say, hey, let's make this happen because we're going to have more buyers who qualify than later.
Right.
Yep.
Then it becomes what? A buyer's market, right?
What happens when
If
it
it's
becomes a
lit-
buyer's market though?
There's more buyers and less homes. No, that's the seller's market. I'm sorry.
So it becomes the buyer's market. So now the
So
sellers
let's
have to
talk
do
about
whatever the
that. What is
buyers
a
want.
buyer's market? Tell me what a buyer's market is by definition, so we can get that out of the way, so we can understand what's the difference from the buyer's market and the seller's market. We're right now in the seller's market, which is no homes for sale, or not a lot of homes for sale, but a lot of people looking to buy homes. And what's the seller's market?
Or a
So-
buyer's market.
So buyer's market means there's less buyers on the market and more houses on the sale. More houses on the market for sale.
I like that.
So now buyers have more options and opportunities to go into these homes and basically negotiate the price all the way down and get everything they want fixed, because the seller's going to fix everything now.
That's right.
Seller's going to be responsible for all COs now.
but here's my question. And here's why I love real estate, right? Most of you and all of you, matter of fact, if you're a real estate agent, and this is for all the real estate agents, you need to know how many months of supply your market has. Okay. This is simple. How many months of supply does your market have? All right. A healthy market is going to be around 5 to 6 months of supply, meaning if every single listing where, it just stopped, and it takes 6 months for no houses to be able to be sold. Like if no one put their house up for sale, it take about 6 months for it to happen. That's why the 6 month is a healthy market. Now, ask yourself, many markets are 1 month or less, right? Or 2 months or less, right? So how does all of a sudden, if the rate's going up, right? Rates are going up. We know that. That's happening. Inflation is super high. Jay Powell said today, I'm gonna let this run. It's a lot of runway before I hurt the industry. I mean the economy. Okay, that was his exact words. You out of here, Amelia? I see you soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys. I'll see you
Thank you
guys
for being
later.
here. See you soon.
All right, ANA.
So if he already said there's a runway that he cannot affect the economy with this runway, then where are all the listings going to come in? Because the rate's going up, right? So rates are high. They go up 4%, 4.5%. Are you still sitting at 1 month supply, or all of a sudden you got 5, 6 months of supply, right? How is that going to be possible, right? So these are the questions you must ask yourself, and everybody's market is different. We got people here from California, Texas, New Jersey, right? And these markets are different. So I encourage everybody to go and find out what is the supply of your market right now. Find that out. You can do that easily by going online and looking at the statistics, or you can go to your association websites, like if it's PAR, if it's California CAR, if it's New Jersey, I think it's NAR. I think New Jersey Association of Realtors. It's got to be NJAR maybe, because it can't be NAR, right? Because that's national. Anyway, the data is out there. Okay, talk to your broker; they can provide it to you, tell you where it's at, or go to the MLS. But that's my question to you. Do you think that all of a sudden supply is just going to start popping up because the market has some kind of a shift? Does anybody have any takes on that?
No.
NJAR, so that's correct. I'm sorry.
The market's not going to change anytime soon, even with the interest rates going up. What will change is the amount of money that the sellers are going to be able to make, because there will be less people that are going to be willing to go so far over asking, because they have to be a little more cautious with their money and what they're going to be spending every single month. So that's what's going to change things to maybe balance it out a bit. But this market is not going to just all of a sudden change to where it's going to be a buyer's market again. I don't see that happening anytime soon, sadly.
I completely agree. And I think one of the reasons is, and it's very obvious, is that, again, where's this infusion of homes going to happen? Like, where are these homes going to come from? So, yeah, we have one part where, okay, cool, rates go up and that might slow things down a little bit, but we still actually have to have homes to sell. And right now we just don't have homes to sell.
I mean, maybe from the forbearance foreclosures.
See? And this is where we start getting into the conversation of creativity, right? Exactly. And this is the creativity that we have to have. And I'm looking when I'm looking over here, I'm not talking to nobody in the room. I'm checking out the chat from Facebook Live. This is the creativity we have to have as real estate agents, right? As realtors, all right? Because when you come into this market and you hear change, slow down, buyer's market, seller's market, craziness, you believe that, oh, I need to pivot. I need to do this now. I need to change this. No, because nothing, just like Angela said, nothing is really going to change. It's just going to be properties maybe on the market for a little longer because they shot too high. Opportunity, right? Now you can have a conversation with an off-market seller, get them into an aggressive strategy for price point, but now spend your time focusing. And this is for everybody in here. When you are speaking to sellers, all right, always start with, where are you going?
Facts.
Where are you going? Okay, this is for every real estate agent that's watching this and will be watching this. Stop worrying about selling a house. You're going to sell a house. It's going to happen. Find out where they're going. How they going to get there. And when you deal with a buyer, when you have a buyer, and this is another tip for y'all right here. when you deal with a buyer, ask. So have you already sold your home, or do we still need to do that? What's the answer they're gonna give you? Oh, I wish. I'm actually renting right now. Now you know they're a renter. Oh yeah, we do need to sell a house. Now you know, because some of y'all, and including me, I've gone in situations where I'm helping them find a house and I'm showing them all them houses. And during a basic conversation, they'd be like, oh yeah, we're starting showings on our house next week. Whoa, what? What? Wait a minute, you got a house? And I can't get it now because they already gave it to somebody else because they didn't think I could do it because I didn't ask. Right? So we have to start asking these questions. All right. So I know we got something in the chat here. New agent, sorry, South Bay, off the topic. Overheard a conversation with brokers about effective effects, waiving contingencies. I had to leave, so I couldn't security. Yeah. So waiving contingencies is going to always continue to happen. All right. If that's just the creativity. Like escalation clause. I'm not sure if you ever heard that term escalation clause before. Many of the agents who may have heard of it may be cringing right now when I say the word escalation clause, because it is very much a creative way to get your clients to stand out and to beat those highest and best calls. When the listing agent says, give me your highest and best. And you can put the escalation clause with your offer that trumps the highest and best, right? Because your escalation clause allows you to now get to the highest and best over top of whoever's in competition with you. So waiving contingencies is something that will never stop. I like to do it depending on the strategy. All right. It is encouraged if you have a buyer that is well educated. And this is where I take the acronym BATNA, Best Alternative to Negotiated Agreement. This is where I take that acronym and move it to the beginning, not wait for the agreement to give them the best alternatives to an agreement, right? So you need to have these discussions with your buyer of different strategies of different contingencies that they be willing to waive, and only do them if they have the capabilities and can withstand waiving that. So for example, if the person is looking to waive inspection, make sure you're setting them up where you're seeing the house multiple times before that listing agent is reviewing offers. So you are comfortable with the house, and maybe you brought in, I'm sorry, is there a legal effect so an agent down the road? No, actually, wait, it is because actually, no, it's not because they sign on it. Remember,
contract you added to the
contract. Yeah, it's no contract. You can get into that situation as a civil lawsuit. I'm not sure. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, because again, this is why educating your buyers in the beginning matters. Because if you are educating everybody the exact same way and preparing them for that deal, there shouldn't be any way they're making that decision uneducated. And that's the only reason why a person will want to sue you down the line, because they were uneducated. And if you give them that information, they cannot claim that they were uneducated. You guys are awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're getting ready to get out of here in like 5 minutes, guys. This is ran over. We always run this over. That's just what happens. And Amelia got out of here quick. She was like, I gotta go. So yeah, any more questions, man? I'm gonna check the chat real quick. Felix, thanks for the love, man. Next time, Felix, get on the live. Get on like the Facebook, on the Zoom, so we can see you, man. Because Felix, y'all gonna love Felix, man. He is a wealth of knowledge, man.
Who that, Roy Felix?
No, Felix Tamayo,
Okay.
actually. He is a he's it's kind of hard to describe Felix, man. He's a beast when it comes to it. Like, he literally does a role play. Like, he makes fun. Like, I gotta get him on, man. He's one of the guys that, like I said, I learned a lot from, that I gotta get him on here, man. Yeah, he said it's fast as bedtime. So yeah, somebody asked about BATNA. I'm gonna give you awesome. That's super cool. So I'm gonna go over BATNA real quick. BATNA again is Best alternative to negotiated agreement. Okay. Best alternative to negotiated agreement. BATNA. All right. Awesome. In good hands. And you guys need to know this term as new real estate agents because it is very, very important. Okay. It's very important for you to explain to your clients what could happen and what they could do. All right. During an agreement of sale process. So for example, to answer your question about the contingencies, yes, you can waive inspection. Yes, we can put in a higher offer. Yes, we can go ahead and inspect this house immediately before 10 days. If the inspection comes back, we got to do a reply to inspection and so on and so forth. So again, it's very, very, very important to have, information for your clients. I'm going to chat and check it out. Anybody have any questions? Please put them in the chat. We're getting ready to head out of here in like 5, probably like 10:15, probably like 10:20 on my time. Maybe I got some questions. All right. So y'all
How
have
do you
any
show
questions?
encouragement to new agents that feel scared?
Scared of what particularly?
Not being successful in the business during this time.
Okay. That's a good question. That's real.
So Vanessa and Chanel are my friends. We're all in California. We all passed our test the same week. One's in Central California, one's in Orange County, one's in San Bernardino County. And we need some encouragement. We need to sell
Yes.
some houses over here.
And y'all
Give us
got the
some
big
new agent
ticket.
talk.
Yeah, y'all got the big ticket items over there too. So the first thing I would say, all right, the first thing I would say is a plug. Join us every Friday for our new agent talk. Okay, it's free. Rochelle, you come there all the time. Tell them to pull up on us. Tell them to pull up on us on Fridays from 1 to 3:30. And that's our time, Eastern Standard Time. So for your time to be 3 hours ahead. So that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is understand your value. Look at the real estate industry as a way, how can I stand out? Right? You're in California. The weather over there is 98% dream, right? For real, like 98% dream. Like you got a perfect weather over there, right? So think to yourself, I was working with a guy, I forget where he was. He was in an area that I knew. I forget what it is. But anyway, what you guys need to look at is you need to niche yourself down. Like break yourselves down and talking to a particular person, right? So think to yourself, all right, you're in California. Who's buying houses in your area? Where are they from? Who do you want to help? Do you want to help first-time home buyers? Do you want to help landlords? Do you want to help sellers sell their homes? Right? Do you want to help sell land? Choose one. Once you have chosen that, now let's start marketing towards them. Right? We all have RPR. Everybody in here has access to RPR. And if you do not have access to RPR, please connect with me. Go to the newagenthandbook.com. Sign up for the New Agent Talk. It is free. I will walk you through it. Okay. Once you have the data of RPR, of knowing the market, let's say you chose a neighborhood, any neighborhood. That neighborhood has grown 65% in the last 3 years. What do you do with that information? You make a video. Hey guys, I'm Javier with Century 21. Listen, if you live in 19067, that's some great news. Prices have gone up 65% in the last 3 years. Yes, 3 years. So if you know anybody looking to sell, contact me today. All right? That's quick little 30 seconds. No, you're not going to go viral. No one's going to call you tonight and say, oh my God, I live in this zip code. Let's go. It's not going to happen. All right.
Wait, Javier, can I cut you off really quick?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So, As a new California agent, I know for you East Coasters, like California totally sounds like the dream, but you know how competitive it is with how many agents there are, with how low the inventory is. Like Vanessa's in Orange County. She's literally Anaheim Hills, Laguna Beach. Like she's right there, nothing but multi-million dollar houses. And it's still super discouraging for us, even where we are. Like, of course, everyone wants our weather. Everyone wants, location, zip code, California, sunny, beachy, LA, San Diego, Orange County. Yes, you make it sound so easy. Oh, trust me. We want to sell all those houses. We do. But at the same time, even being a part of like top producing brokerages as a new agent, it's seriously really hard. And don't get me wrong, your new agent talk on Fridays helps me personally and encourages me. And I have like the luck of my father being in the industry for over 35 years and seeing all his ups and downs through the economic crash, through the pandemic, and him being loyal to one brokerage for 35 plus years, but enduring having it all and having nothing overnight. But some of my friends, they are starting this like completely fresh with no mentorship, no guidance whatsoever. And something that I heard on, I think it was the New Agent Talk, was like one girl saying, "Oh, I feel like Century 21 sold me the dream." And I hate hearing that, because like, of course, I've been in it just as long as my two friends on here. Like I said, we all just passed the same week, less than 2 months ago. And I am constantly finding ways to stay encouraged and motivated. But you have to admit, it's hard.
It is tough. It is tough. And let me give you some tips real quick. And I want you guys to write this down. All right. I want y'all to get a pen and paper because we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it real quick. And y'all already know I live this. All right. What I'm giving you here is actionable items you can do right now. What we do here is not entertainment. It's meant for action. I want you to act on this. Okay. So you mentioned it. You mentioned some top names, some names, Laguna Beach. Like this is like TV material for us East Coasters, right? We like dreaming of this stuff, right? And you're right. That's how we see it. And for you, it's real life. And it's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of superficial stuff happening all at once. And you feel as if you have to be a millionaire yourself to spend all this money and be in all these places. But I'm going to give you I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first tip, all right, is going to be open houses. Okay. You're in your brokerage. You're in a brokerage.
Me and her have been talking about
Wait, that's what I'm saying, right? So boom. All right. You have your brokerage. Your brokerage has a meeting area. That meeting area is on Facebook, on a group, on an email. Maybe everybody has an email you can send to, right? Or live in-person meetings, right? Either one of those, you have a crowd of your brokers, of your agents, okay? This is your time to announce to them of your interest in hosting an open house, but not just any open house. You're going to do it different. You're going to post it on social media. You're going to go live on Instagram. You're going to make a flyer on Canva. You're going to call the neighbors and let them know about the open house. Okay. You're going to bring some cookies, some treats, whatever. All right. And you're going to lock the house up if it needs to be locked up at the end. All right. It's the first tip, open house. All right. Leverage your brokerage. Now, with that open house, and this is kind of like a real big tip within that first tip. Okay. So within that open house, let's go back to the announcement. All right. With that announcement, I want you to, if it's a Facebook announcement, write it out, check your spelling, make sure everything is correct. I pay for Grammarly. Yes, I pay for Grammarly. So when I'm writing posts, I'm going through it. My wife is my editor-in-chief, so she's always on me. But now I have Grammarly, so I'm working my way up. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because when you are presenting yourself, first impressions last forever. You are a new agent. and you're with high flying agents, they have no time for mistakes. Okay. They want to see perfection, and you're going to give it to them. All right. So you have to announce yourself to your brokerage. Let them know, hey guys, I know I'm new here. I thank y'all all for a lot of the information you've been providing me, but I want to let everybody know that if you want your Sundays back, I'm available. And I want to, and also for those of you who are not on social media, I'm going to go live on Instagram. I'm going to go live on Facebook. I'm going to post about it. I'm even going to get a walkthrough video of the house. And most importantly, I'm going to make sure I tell the neighbors that the open house is happening. They're going to be like, whoa, okay, let me throw something at you. But you're going to target the agents that have the most listings. Why? They can't open house them all, right? You may talk to one agent, oh, well, I'm going to do this one myself. I only got one listing. Okay. Talk to somebody who has 15 listings. Hey, how are you, Bob? How are you? Hey, I'm Javier. I just wanted to reach out to you. Yeah, I'm new in the office. I just wanted to call you and find out. I looked up on the MLS. Is 123 Main Street still available? Oh yeah, that house is beautiful. I wanted to find out if I can hold it open this weekend. Oh, I can. Perfect. Because it just came on market. It really looks nice, and I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna really make sure we get the most people possible. Okay, cool. All right, great. Done.
Can I jump in?
Jump in.
So with inventory being so low, I've already done multiple open houses for my broker. With inventory being so low, it is a little bit of a challenge to try and do open houses for other agents because they don't have much inventory either that they're hosting themselves. Is there something or a way where we can call outside of our brokerage other agents and ask if we could do an open house for them?
That's tough because your broker is not going to encourage that because they fear that you're going to be recruited. All right. That's just facts. Your broker is not going to say, yeah, go call Keller Williams. No problem. And you're going to be like, hey, I already signed a reservation for him. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because they think you're going to leave. So I wouldn't encourage that. But if there's low inventory, there's inventory in your market. All right. And you need to find out where the best deals are or what looks attractive. So within your brokerage, say everybody has 10 listings total. Okay. Even if everybody has 5 listings total, let's make it 4 listings total. Take it down to 3 listings total. All right. If they're not doing open houses, if they're doing an open house on Sunday, you do it on Saturday. But remember, it is imperative, okay, that when you do open houses, and this is tip number 2. All right. This is tip number 2. All right. Tip number 2 is circle prospecting. So important. All right. And circle prospecting you can do even if another agent from another brokerage sold that home. Okay. So let's just say, for example, you're going to MLS, you're working in this particular area. A house just sold. Nice, beautiful. Overpriced, it's sold for $1 million over asking. I'm just using that as an exaggeration. All right. It's sold for $1 million over asking. Okay. Great. Appreciate it. You need to go ahead and look into that area and find out the person, the homeowner who purchased their home the furthest back. And you need to call them and let them know about what just happened here. Hey, this is Javier with Century 21. Is this Mr. Jones? Hey, Mr. Jones, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Yeah, what are you calling me for? Oh, the reason for my call is your neighbors 2 doors down with the Johnsons. They actually just sold their house for $1 million over asking. Why do I care? Well, typically, when you start to see people paying this high of a price, that's a great indicator. Do you by any chance know of anyone thinking about taking advantage of these high prices or high values or however you want to say it? No, I don't. Oh, not a problem at all. Thank you very much for your time. But wait, before I go, for the right price, would you consider selling your home? And if you do that for every single person, somebody's going to say, well, yeah, if you gave me $1.5 million over asking, oh, great. Have you done any upgrades in the last 5 years? Oh, great. Not a problem at all. Well, hey, I'm going to be out there tomorrow doing the same exact thing I'm doing right now. What time works better, 1 or 2:30? 2:30, great. I'll be over and I'll go over everything about the house and walk them through. When you bring somebody from your office, don't go by yourself because you're new. You're going to trip up. Don't be too big for that, right? Call somebody from your office. Hey, Richard, I know you're a high flyer. I just got a listing. I need your help. He's going to be like, whew, let me show you how it's done. He's going to show you, he's going to get the listing, and that's going to be fine. But guess what? You're going to do the same thing you just did. And you're not going to call Richard the next time. You're going to do it yourself, right? It's okay to give him a little bit of that skin, because when it comes down to it, that person may throw you a deal later down the line because you threw him one. You see how it works?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you got to be aggressive about this. And you have to know what's going on, meaning you need to keep your eyes on what's happening in your market. And this is why RPR is very important in your MLS, because when you start to know when something sells that's overpriced, you need to jump on it. You need to go on that street, go on that neighborhood, go on that HOA, and find out which of these people, of these homeowners, are most likely to sell next, right? And if they're
Can you
absentee
explain
owners,
RPR?
RPR, yeah. I'm not gonna get into RPR, guys, because y'all, I'm gonna be here all night, and I don't want to do that because y'all
Just
know how I
real
do.
quick for Chanel and Vanessa.
What about RPR?
Yeah, just
Oh.
what it stands for.
So RPR is Realtors Property Resource, all right? And that gives you so much. Jump into the New Agent Talk this Friday if you can, or just go to the newagenthandbook.com and book a session with me if you want. And I'll personally walk you through RPR, give you a personal training. If you join, we have a subscription for $33 a month. It's 1 hour a week with me in a group setting, and you get access to all of our trainings, and you get the VIPs for all of our events, meaning you get recordings of our trainings. So it's a very inexpensive cost. We do have other trainings like 4-week trainings, 8-week trainings where you're just getting with me and we're diving into it, because you have to look at this as shock value. You're in California. I mean, it doesn't get any crazier than that. I mean, we do have an agent that we work with in Brooklyn, and that's just as crazy, right? So you want to make sure you're focusing on shock value, and knowing your data, put them two together, you're going to stand out within your brokerage, and you're going to stand out within your neighborhoods. So I hope that helped. Oh, the third tip. Content. Third tip is content. All right.
You know, I was waiting to say something.
Yo, go in there real quick, Jersey Joe. Let put that out there, because he built his whole brand. So go ahead and tell them why it's important for content, please.
Basically, my main question was, how did they find you? Them being in California.
Sorry, how did who find who?
How did y'all find a New Agent Handbook?
Oh, so I'm with Century 21 Crystal Cellar in Arcadia, California, which is in LA County. And I am on C21 University and Workplace.
Okay.
So that's how I found it. And one Friday I joined Javier and a few others. And then I just told my friend Chanel and Vanessa to join tonight.
I thought y'all probably seen one of his ads he got running on Facebook.
Oh
They all
no,
over the
I need to
place.
step up my Canva game, honestly. Javier has me really meditating on how I need to step up my Canva.
That's
So
what
I'm
talking
working
about.
on it. But yes, that's how I found it.
I log on Facebook right now. I might see a New Agent sponsor ad rolling.
Yeah.
But you know why he got that rolling? He's bigging up his Army presence. So that's one way y'all could take advantage of what y'all got going on in LA. LA is beautiful. You take them nice pictures talking about what people want to read, and people want to be able to relate to who you are. So they want to relate to see that you're really human. So you put that out there on social media and you put the ads on there, I promise you, by next year, you can be one of them top agents. Bigging up your Army presence, getting a brand, a logo, putting your presence out there, taking advantage, because it seems like y'all very young. So y'all take advantage of all these things that we got going on with the TikTok videos, and all them agents not doing that. Them agents not really doing
Man,
that.
California though, I'm telling you, like what got me to even get into real estate, my dad's been telling me to do this for my whole life. And it wasn't until I started watching Selling Sunset that really made me sign up for classes. But that's not everybody. So that's why I'm saying, like, we're in the heart of it all. We're in these multi-million-dollar areas. Like Chanel's right by Silicon Valley, you know, she's
Yeah.
right there next
That's
to all the
beautiful.
tech companies. Vanessa's right there in Orange County, where everybody dreams to live by the beach. And yeah, and like when we hear guys like you in the East talk about, oh, California, yeah, it's California, but you know how many agents are out here with brands and $1 million this,
Yeah.
driving Lambos
Copycat
and
business, copy what they doing.
Well,
oh
not
man,
necessarily
it's
though.
stressful.
Like not necessarily. So here's what you have to do. Okay, think small. Think small. All right. If any one of you have a one-on-one with me, you're gonna hear the word farm. Okay. And I didn't even get to this in my turn, by the way. And I'm still recording, which is great. So it's gonna go for a little while. I'm almost finished. But farm, focused area of real estate marketing. Farm, focused area of real estate marketing. Farm. Okay. What am I saying? I'm saying stop thinking about a big area. Think about a neighborhood.
Right.
All right. Think about a street. We take a farm of 250 people. I'm breaking that farm down to 50 people because those 50 people are now my people. I'm tracking them down. I'm on social media. If you live in California, people who live in California, I know they got social media and I know they on Instagram or Facebook. And guess what they follow on Instagram and Facebook? Hashtags. So if you have a person that's following the hashtag, can't you make a conversational piece that targets them? Right? You could be walking down the street. Hey, I'm right here on Mellow Lane. Mellow Lane is a phenomenal street. This area actually have gone up in value 6,500% since whatever time frame it is. Right? And this house I'm standing behind right now actually just sold for 75 million over asking price. If you guys are thinking about buying in this neighborhood, connect with me today. Right now, I exaggerated those items, but hashtag that area, maybe that neighborhood, maybe that street. Maybe you're using the hashtag that you found some of these homeowners using when you found them on Instagram and they see it, right? No, they're not going to call you when they see your ad. It's not going to happen that way. But you're building up in the subconscious mind of those people who you are targeting, right? And now you go around. Since you live in California, I know y'all have yard sales and garage sales. Great. Let's go and organize one. Let's get your broker behind it. Leverage your broker. They got money. Hey, broker, Mr. Broker Man, Mr. or Mrs. Broker Man, can we organize a yard sale in this area? Sure. Great. Not a problem. Can I get some signs? Now you're going to knock on everybody's door. Hey, I'm Javier with Century 21. We're actually organizing a neighborhood yard sale. Would you want to be a part of it? Great. Go ahead and put what's the best email address to send you the invitation? Great. All right. And your name, James? James, thank you so much. We'll be contacting you. Go all right around. And now what you got? You got an email address. You guys got to think basic. Don't just believe since you live in these high-end areas, you can't just go knock on somebody's door. Okay? Because you can. I knock on doors all the time. All right. But I want to let y'all know.
Encouragement.
I'm trying to visualize myself in their city.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be
no,
amazing.
I seriously want you guys to just come out here so you would understand that the way you guys talk about it is not what it is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. And you know what? Here's why I say it doesn't matter is because, listen, there's an agent in your area right now that is like me, aggressive.
Yeah, no, there
right?
is.
Super
there
aggressive.
is.
And I'm hungry.
Listening to you
I'm
is
knocking on
addictive,
doors.
Javier, trust me.
Boom, boom, boom,
Listening
boom, boom, boom,
to
boom.
your
Hey, how y'all
little
doing
mocks
today?
by yourself and you
You know
talking
what I
to
mean?
yourself and being like, hey, Javier.
Yeah.
No, that motivates me. Trust me, it does.
But we're going to do this together.
But
We're going to do this together. Sign up for my role playing team. We got about 4 or 5 slots left. Okay, sign up for it. Let's role play. And then guess what? We could do some door knocking together. Not physically because we're in 2 different parts of the country. But we could door knock.
Yeah.
You go around and door
you're
knock.
telling this to brand new agents.
No,
I get what you're saying.
No. Listen.
Like it seems like you're making excuses for yourself.
Exactly, because that's what I'm getting ready to tell you, right? We got Felix. That's he put a nice gem inside of the chat, and what he said was, my coach told me that if for every property sold, if I'm not calling 200 people around that house, I should be fired. Okay.
No, that's real.
I want y'all to
Yes.
think about that. Every house that your company sells, okay, you have a brokerage. People are selling
Right.
houses. All right.
Yeah.
Houses are being sold. All right. It's not like it's a desert. Nobody's selling houses. Somebody's
No,
selling
all
houses.
3 of our brokerages are selling $1 million houses. We're all from 3 different brokerages.
Okay. So you should be calling. You should be calling every time a house sells. You should be calling and letting the neighborhood know that that house is. So we're getting to this more, and I want y'all to join in, like I said, to the role playing group, which is free, and our New Agent Talk free. But if you want some deep dives into some strategies, you can live in Alaska, and I promise you, the strategies I'm going to give you is going to work. Doesn't matter where you are, okay? Because real estate needs to be sold, and people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. All right. I have got more listings from sending out a flyer like this. All right. This is a simple flyer. Okay. This is a market update telling you what the prices are. All right. Comps, personal letter, signed signature, and it's coming in a security envelope with no return address. So when they open it up, they get to feel my beautiful thick paper, not too thick. That's weighing a lot because you got to pay extra for stamps. Right. And they get to feel my beautiful silky business card. And why am I emphasizing beautiful silky? Because we're working off of the census, right? When they feel it, it's quality. You're in California. So when I send something in the mail, I should feel quality, luxury, right? I throw it in the trash all the same. I'm not going to hang it on my wall because it's nice. It's going in the trash. But what happens is when you knock on their door, when you make that phone call, all that comes right back to the forefront when you announce who you are, right? Hey, I'm Hop. Hey, is this Mr. Jones? Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. Hey, this is Javier with Century 21. The reason for my call, I wanted to find out if you guys got the flyer I mailed out yesterday. Oh, you did? Great. Did you guys see if the values go up? They have gone up 65% in the last 2 years? Wow, I know it's been a long time coming. I know that's right. Hey, listen, I'm working with all the original homeowners here in Laguna Beach, and I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about the increase in value. And would you by any chance know of anybody thinking of selling in the next couple of months? Oh, you don't? Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of your day. Mr. Jones is beautiful out today. And hey, wait, before I go, for the right price, would you consider selling your home? For $5,000 trillion? Oh, wow. Have you done any upgrades in your home in the last 5 years, Mr. Jones? Oh, you have? And then we continue going to the script until we get the appointment. Nothing that I said there is rocket science, okay? My voice inflections were there. My excitement was there. My enthusiasm was there. But the reason that I sent that letter to the house was to open it up so I could continue my conversation from that 10-second point, period. All right? When you call people, you're bothering them. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You don't know what's going on in their house before you pick up the phone screaming about real estate. They don't give a shit about real estate. That's not why they woke up today to sell their house. Right? So when you start to understand that these things are not that big of a deal, and when you start to understand you are given some type of value, you start to change the perspective in your mindset. And then you start to say, I do live in Laguna Beach and I sell $10 million homes a year. And I make a great living of it. I started out being afraid. I was on this crazy ass guy from Pennsylvania's. Well, it's not my round table. This is all of our round table. But, he got me sparked up. I'm ready to go. And now you're going to be riding around in that beautiful car with the top down, making videos like, hey, the lifestyle of, you know what I mean? Because that's, so again, we turned this into a whole teaching session. I'm getting amped up in this late hour. But I tell y'all, this is what we do. Like, this is what we do. You are a new agent. You are a beast. You're going to take over your brokerage. Why? Because you want it. And everybody in there is you're going to leverage yourself.
Preach, Javier. We
Leverage
need your encouragement.
yourself.
We need your encouragement.
I appreciate y'all showing love. Shy, you want to give them any words of encouragement from a lender standpoint?
Definitely make sure, again, that you mirror that buyer or that seller or whoever that you are going to work with. Again, identify who your everything Javier said in terms of knowing your niche and knowing who your audience is and dumb it down. It could be, I literally have a friend of mine who's an agent. She primarily works with nurses because she was a nurse before she was a realtor. So her network is constantly just networking and working her sphere of influence, working her phone off of people that she knew in the medical landscape. So, I mean, again, just identify who that, you want to work with and come up with some level of messaging, in your marketing, your voice, know what your voice is, right? Know your voice and identify it and just concentrate only on that audience and then slowly build out to maybe touching another audience or two. But just know where your niche is and just show up. Consistency. This business is going to beat you up your first year or two. Javier was lucky enough to be the rookie of the year at Century 21. But most people struggle mightily in this business for the first year or two and end up flat broke, many of them.
Yeah.
In fact, it's more likely that you will end up doing, almost nothing your first year or so. But it's just, again, a level of consistency and showing up and sticking with it that where you'll just know and be reminded like, yeah, this is me. I should do this, right? And as I mentioned in the chat, definitely leverage social media. Jersey Joe is absolutely right. A lot of the people that we're serving are going to continue to be younger buyers and sellers, right? Our parents are no longer buying and selling homes at the same level that they were. It's going to be us and younger that are going to be buying and selling homes. How do they communicate? Well, they barely communicate. They don't want to get on the phone. They don't want to talk to you as much. They much prefer a text, right? They much prefer to keep their phones in their hands like this versus like this. So again, they're constantly digesting social media. So you need to be present and top of mind, and again, your content doesn't have to be perfect, right? But it just has to be present. Right. Doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be present and it has to be consistent. So please use social media to leverage your business. And again, as Jersey Joe said, it doesn't always have to be business. It could be you simply walking your dog on a beautiful day. Guess what? There's 100 other people that are probably your friends and followers that did the same to start their day as well that could relate, right? Mixing business with fun and who you are, right? And then that last slice is always mixing in your level of expertise. I call that the Trinity. And for those who don't know, I'm a mortgage lender, former realtor, but I am a brand manager first and foremost. So I call it the Holy Trinity. And we'll talk more about that in a different chat. But the Holy Trinity is definitely your expertise and your wins and your just nerding out on whatever it is that you do, right? Your self, genuine self. You had pizza today and you didn't feel like working. You had your shoes off and you're chilling on the beach. That's you. That's yourself. That's right. Right. So again, our level of expertise, ourselves, and our wins. Right. We want to show us winning. We want to show us doing well. Right. So again, we want to show our wins. Nerding out. We want to show ourselves having a slice of pizza. Buying a nice pair of shoes. And then we also want to, again, hone in on the business aspect, even if the post or the content goes way over their heads, right? But we know what we're talking about. And guess what? Your followers are going to know that as well, right? They may not understand it, but they know you're the expert. And when the time is right, and I need to buy a house from Chanel, I know she knows her shit, right? And that's who I'm going to call. So maintaining top of mind, via social media is the way our business is going to go, whether you like it or not. You got to be present.
Love that. Yo, looks
Thanks,
like
Shaw. That was great. Where are you located?
Yeah, I got a
I'm located out of Philadelphia.
Okay, thank you.
Yo.
And I am licensed in 39 states. So I am licensed in California to write loans, by the way.
Oh,
and
hey, you spilling the
loans
beans, Shaw. Hey,
both
man,
NorCal and SoCal.
Shaw spilling the beans. I was supposed to tell y'all that on Friday and surprise y'all with that. So we're getting ready to get up out of here. But as you guys can clearly see, this is the place to be, All right. The new agent handbook was created to be a standalone beacon for all agents, no matter which brokerage you're coming from. We're giving you real strategies, real talk. None of that BS, high flying, be a millionaire overnight nonsense. All right. I hate it. All right. I hate people that talk on those high levels. Talk to me like I never had a check before, right? Talk to me when I'm feeling down about real estate, right? Talk to me like that. And that's how I give it to everybody. So that's how you're always going to get it from me. And I want to let you know that this is why we created this space. All right. So we can come together no matter where you are, what company you are, it can care less. You have a brokerage, you have other agents, and you need to leverage it. All right. And there's data out there for you to do it overnight. And it's not
Thank you
just,
so much, Javier.
hey, this is
and
what we're
Shar,
here for.
Everybody, thank you
yes.
for joining, Vanessa and Chanel.
Yes, I appreciate
Text
you
me
guys.
later, girls.